for me to whisper in your ear? If so, welcome to Wednesday Night Whispers with your host, the domesticated diva, Latasha Scott. Good evening, afternoon, or morning, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome to my show. You are viewing this interview live on LSTV. I love to talk, so this is my station for education. I'm your host, Latasha Scurry. What is a CEO? Chief executive officers are responsible for leading an entire organization or company. CEOs can be found across all industries and company sizes, from startups with 4 employees to massive global corporations with hundreds of teams and thousands of employees. My guest holds a Bachelor of Science degree in history from Bethune-Cookman University and completed executive education training at Dartmouth's Tuck School of Business. Those who know the proud mother and grandmother admire her generosity, resilience, sense of style, and humor. She believes that self-confidence, faith, and action are critical to success. She is a visionary leader with over a quarter century of unwavering commitment to elevating communities through meaningful employment as the CEO of Alpha1 Staffing Plus Search Firm, a distinguished agency that manages multi-million-dollar corporate support, healthcare, and disaster relief contracts. She has transformed countless lives by connecting Floridians to rewarding opportunities. Please welcome the gorgeous Miss Garrie Harris.
Hello.
Hey, beautiful. How are you?
I am well. How are you? Who was that?
I am so excited to have you here. You are one for the records. I am just truly excited.
I'm excited. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Everyone must know that this is a lifetime friend of my aunt, Claire Williams. She was born and raised in Fort Myers, but I'm not here to tell your story. You go ahead and tell us.
Yes. So again, thank you so much for inviting me to the show. I am so proud of you. And, you said you like to talk, and I like to talk too. So we'll be doing a lot of talking tonight.
Awesome. I love it.
Yes,
and
the diva, that's both of us. So we'll get along well with that.
No, I am trying my best to be a diva like you. This lady has it all.
Divas, that name, that kind of, but we're good divas. So
I appreciate that. Yeah. Well, give us a background. Tell us, who is Miss Garrie Harris?
Yes. So as you mentioned, I am a lifelong friend of your Aunt Claire. Mm-hmm. We grew up in Fort Myers together. I have known your husband since he was a baby.
Yes.
So that I'm telling my age, but that's okay. I'm proud of it,
Yes, you wear this very well.
Thank you very much. Growing up in Fort Myers, and we both went to Bethune-Cookman University.
Yes.
At the same time, and very proud to be Wildcats. And after graduating from Bethune-Cookman University, moved to the Miami area, where I, married my college sweetheart, started working in the corporate world and the banking field. And I did that for like 15 years and decided, I became a branch vice president and then a regional director, and went on to sell stock and got my stock broker's license, and
Wow.
Out of that, yeah, I sold stock series 7 and 63, and very interesting, very, very interesting. You know, the Wolf of Wall Street and all of that. I lived in that world. That's a real world.
That's a great movie. I like that. I like that. DiCaprio. I love
That is
that
real.
movie.
And I was working for a firm that sold initial IPO, so it was very, very
Okay.
interesting on a daily basis. But was recruited out of that world into the temporary help field. And at the time, I knew nothing about contract labor or temporary help. Um, and the recruiter that recruited me out of it, she said, this is how long ago it was. She's like, well, just go pick up the phone book and go to the yellow pages and look up temporary help, which I did. And I was very,
Wow.
very excited, to see that this was a whole industry that I knew nothing about. And I was like, wow, this is
Okay.
exciting. She said, well, if you think that this is something you want to do, I think you will make a great manager, in which I did. I started with a major staffing firm at the time. It was called Temporary Help, Girl Friday, those things back in the day.
Okay.
And I absolutely fell in love with the industry. Again, my background was banking, and I had, rose to, a regional director, had 17 branches, but I absolutely love this industry. I fell in love with it. And, worked for the larger corporations for a while, and I went to work for another smaller boutique staffing firm, which was a Black female, and learned how to run the business from the other side. So I knew the corporate side of it, but I didn't know the ins and outs of the business. And so she really taught me how to run a staffing agency, and I have to give her credit for that. With that experience, I started Alpha1 Staffing search firm, and that was 17 years ago. Not by myself. I started
Okay.
started the firm with partners, and those partners happened to be from the same Fort Myers. Two of the partners happened to be from Fort Myers, and another one was from Baltimore, and one from Miami. So you say, "Wow, that's a lot of partners."
Okay.
Well, when you don't know, you don't and what I was looking for was capital. When you need money, so I was looking for capital. So I brought in partners to do that, and that's how I started Alpha1 Staffing Search Firm LLC. And that's in a nutshell who Garrie Harris is, and that's how we started Alpha1 Staffing. Yes.
But why Alpha1 Staffing? What's behind the name?
Well, okay. So, again, that same female who taught me a lot about the staffing industry. She was very good at what she did, and she said, you always want to come up, and this is old school. She said, you always want to come up in the front when people are looking for you in the front. Now we're going back.
Okay.
Right. So you want to get something with the A's, and the first, and so that kind of
That makes sense.
But again, I'm an AKA, so I love Alpha, so
Okay.
so that
It makes total sense now.
Why not do it double? I'm going to do Alpha1, so I'm really going to come up in the beginning, So it's kind of
Listen, I understand
that people like Alpha and 1 is the same, so you kind of got two names there. You got the person. Well, why not? It's my company, so I can name it what I want, So it's kind of how Alpha1, and my partners were gracious enough to say, okay, whatever.
Okay. I knew there had to be something behind that name, and I knew AKA. I know you like your pink and your green, so I was just like, where does the pink and green come from? That's awesome. I love that.
Not to in anywhere, and I love all the D9s, and I love my Delta sisters.
That's
I love
great.
them all. I love everybody. Yes.
That's awesome. So why this business? Just because you had the love, you fell in love with it, and you felt like you could take it to the next level on your own?
I felt like I could take it to the next level on my own, and I can tell you that you can dream big, and reality can set in, and you're like, oh boy, what did I get myself into? Because
Okay.
I started my company in 2007. And
Right.
2007 through it was a very, very bad year to start a company.
Oh
2007,
no.
2009
Yes.
was a year that we went through a very difficult, almost pandemic.
Yep.
And
Yep.
oh,
I
so
remember housing
yes,
market crashed in 2008. It was
yes,
bad. It was
it was bad.
bad.
It was
Hmm.
bad. So Garrie Harris decided to start a company. Okay, yeah. And nobody was hiring anybody, and I couldn't give people away. So
Wow.
it was hard. It was very hard. And if it wasn't for a very dear friend of mine who I hold very dear to this day, who became one of my very first clients, and he's like, okay, I see you over there struggling. You
Okay.
ain't got no clients. I'm
Right.
gonna help you out. And became, one of my very first clients. But it was difficult. I almost went back to work, go back
Okay.
into corporate America. I
Okay.
remember because the firm that I was working for, this lady, her company was suffering, and I was contemplating going to work for somebody else when I really started Alpha1. And I remember coming home and telling my son at the time that I was going to start a company. And he said, Mom, have you lost your mind? Pretty
Oh
much
no.
because of the economy at the time. And I'm like, you know, you step out on faith and you do it. And basically
Yeah,
that's what I did.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, yes. So, after that period of time, establishing myself, and I think what that time did, it gave me the opportunity to really home in on what I really wanted to do. So I started registering Alpha1 Staffing with every entity that I can. I knew how to write solicitations, respond to
Okay.
solicitations. I had learned
Okay.
how to do this company that I had been with, and I was very good at it. And
Okay.
I knew how to go to municipalities and get business and government contracts, and that was Alpha1 Staff, and still is our bread and butter. It's never going to make you rich, but it's definitely will pay the bills. And, for
Okay.
anybody
I
that
love
is
it.
contemplating going into business, I would say start, if you're trying to build up your clientele, um, governmental, federal, municipalities, that type of business is going to, pretty much always be there. And if you have something, a commodity that you can sell
Okay.
to
This is
this,
valuable information right here. This is valuable talk right here. So
yeah,
if
it,
anybody's
it, it will
listening,
keep you in business,
yeah,
through the difficult times, and it will, be a lifeline for you. And it was definitely a
absolutely.
lifeline for Alpha1 Staffing. So during that time period, that's what I learned to do. And through that process, Alpha1 Staffing was fortunate enough to win a major contract with Miami-Dade County, and it became a landmark contract for us. And it was a 5-year contract. The
Wow.
value of the contract was over $100 million over a 5-year
What
period.
you say?
Yes, and we didn't go into that contract as the number one vendor, but over that 5-year period, we became the number one vendor, and it was because of our performance on the contract. So
Say,
lifespan, over the
say.
lifespan of the 5 years, we billed to Miami-Dade County over $100 million for that contract. So
excuse me, but you just said that it won't make you rich. It sounds like a little nice nest egg for me.
It was good for us. And when I say that, it won't make you rich, but now you when I say bill, of course, we had over 600 employees working for Miami-Dade County at the time. So of course, there's a lot of expenses to go out with that.
Yes.
So
I know.
don't think you will ever go get rich with counting. The numbers seem big, but the responsibilities are also big as well. But what it did was, okay.
But see, that opened doors.
That opens up a lot of doors. And you have a resume to write your own ticket to a lot of different other things that you could do business with. So that was a huge door opener.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. I just want everybody to know, it is Black History Month, and I'm featuring an African American woman who I think is a superstar, rock star. But this is knowledge for everybody. This is knowledge, especially our African American females. Listen, you cannot stop. I am looking for more women, successful women, to tell their story, because next month is Women's Month. So I don't have a problem with seeking out ladies that saying, hey, I made it, this how I did it. But what I want to challenge our ladies, successful ladies, with is talking and helping the others. Not necessarily giving them money, but giving them advice. Okay, let them pitch an idea to you and say, you can at least say, you know what? I don't think this has the substance that you think it has. You might want to try this, and this. Just give them some advice. Give them some of what you said, hope and faith in the beginning. That's all I'm going to challenge you with. Okay.
Right. And you know what? And we don't need to hold on to stuff, because I had a lot of help along the way. And if it wasn't for the advice of others, I would not have made it. That's why I try to share that as much as possible. There is no secret sauce. There is no secret. And I have shared this on a media platform. And I know people who have taken this same information and applied it to their business, even their staffing companies, and they are successful because of it. And I'm thankful that they have become successful, because of that knowledge, and just because there's enough business out here for all of us. And that's what we need. That's really what we need to do. We need to be sharing.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. Thank you. So what drives you? What makes you get up every morning and say, I want to do this?
Well, the fact that I love doing what I do, and the fact that I can, wherever I go, there is someone that comes up to me and say, Miss Harris or Garrie, because of your company, I now have a permanent role at such and such company. Awesome. Now my kids are in college. Now, we have benefits. Even though you may walk through the door, that's what keeps me going. Also, thank you. Yes, I am building a legacy for my family. My children, who are all college educated, work for Alpha1 Staffing. Not the plan. I did not entice them to work for Alpha1 Staffing. It's not always easy to be a mama boss.
Yes, I know. My daughters probably quit after the first week if I was their boss.
Listen, they quit a couple of
Yes, they tell me I'm a tyrant. So So listen, it's all good. I like that word you said, legacy. That gave me chills when you said I'm building a legacy for my family.
Yes, yes, yes. And my grandson is already talking about, what he wants to do with the company. There's so many other things that he can do in his life, but he talks about what he wants to do. And not only the legacy for my family, I have a very important staff that has been with me for a significant amount of time, and I can't do what I do without them. I have some very dedicated staff members that have been with me from day one, and we scale up and down, which is great when you have a staffing company, because there is all there we fluctuate in what we need.
Okay.
From period to period, we go up and down in terms of contracts and our need and so forth. For example, during the pandemic, when a lot of people weren't working, we were busy. We were really, really.
I was going to ask you about that. That was a specific question I wanted to ask you. How did you survive the pandemic? Because a lot of businesses closed to never reopen.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, in a couple of ways. During right before the pandemic, we were transitioning to remote working. So we had already started using the computers at home, doing some remote working, which is very interesting. I don't know how the foresight and all of that, but we had started doing that. Just working to figure that out. So when the pandemic happened, and we were doing one of the Super Bowls as well, the Miami Super Bowl. So it required that we do a lot of work from home. I think that's what it was, because we were working 24/7. So I think I was like, okay, just take everything at home and we'll work from home, because the hours were long and we didn't want to be in the office. So it kind of transitioned from there. But when the pandemic hit, because if you remember, it was right after the Super Bowl in Miami that they shut everything down. I'm surprised we didn't get COVID at the Super Bowl.
Yes.
But shortly after that, because of all those registrations that I talked about, remember, I told you I registered with everything, the state of Florida, everything. All of those registrations, we were now registered with the state of Florida Disaster Management. And when they needed to open up COVID centers, guess who they called? They looked down the list. Alpha1 Staffing in Miami can provide staff for disaster centers. And we got really busy all over the state of Florida. I think we had over 1,000 people working throughout the state of Florida. We were in your area. We were in Jacksonville. We were in Orlando. We were in Miami. Most COVID centers.
How do people get staff? You advertise that you need some jobs, and people just come into the office. I've never.
No. We don't have anybody coming in our office. Our platforms are completely paperless. We are completely automated, so we don't have anybody coming into office. But yes, we advertise on multiple platforms. So we go out and we're on multiple advertisements. We're on the internet, TikTok, Facebook, everything, anything we can find, to get the word out, and which we did, and hired a bunch of people, and that was one of our most successful years, was doing COVID. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, wow. Listen, I'm so impressed, because I've never known how staffing works. I've heard of it. My brother-in-law does that for a living, but I never knew the ins and outs of how you come about hiring people.
You know what? You're right. Your brother-in-law does do it for a living. We were working out something for a while. He does do that for a living. I forgot about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm intrigued now, because I have some business ideas, but I always go to the safer role, and I won't do it. But what I honestly have always wanted to be a journalist, and I missed my calling because of not doing the research that I needed to do to become a journalist. So I feel that role, that void, by having interviews and talking to people. But this is intriguing to me because I know you through someone else, but talking to you it is actually inspirational. And I am so happy that I'm getting an opportunity to talk to you. One of the things I want to ask you, what keeps you up at night about your business? Yeah. What makes you not sleep?
Yeah. A whole bunch of stuff. A whole bunch of stuff. I say that owning your business is, it's like having a 50-pound baby on your back, that you can't put down, and that baby is always there. When you go to bed, the baby is there. When you wake up, the baby's there. When you take a shower, the baby's there. Whatever you do, when you go to the gym, the baby's there. The baby's always there. My business is always on my back. So why would I think in my mind that when I go to bed at night, the baby gonna go to sleep? No, the baby gonna go to sleep.
I love that analogy. I love it. So I hear you got a lot going on. So how many hours in a day truly that you put into this?
I am consumed with my business all day. But what I try to do is there is a point where I will turn it off. And you can't talk to me about my business because I have learned that I have to do that. And I have learned with my team and with my family, because if they see me in a quiet moment, they'll come up to me and say, well, this project and that project. And I'm like, We're not talking about that now. So I've learned that there are business hours even for me, but I work all the time. You will see me at my computer late at night, and you will see me early in the morning. I get up at 4 a.m. I go to the gym, at 5
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm working from that time typically until about 6 or 7 at night. And then I'm very busy in the community. So I'm always on some board or some committee meeting. The Alpha Kappa Alpha has me very busy, and I'm so thankful for Alpha Kappa Alpha, because we do amazing community work. I don't know if the general public knows how much work the Divine Nine puts into the community and feeds into the community. And we don't just wear colors. We raise a lot of money. And we do a lot of community. Yes.
Yeah.
That's
awesome. That is so awesome. I am truly glad that you survived the pandemic. I heard the gym at 4 a.m. and I've seen it. I see it on Facebook. So ladies and gentlemen, when she says that she does start her morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, this lady is truly inspirational. I don't know if y'all know how old she is. I'm not going to even ask her, but she is delightful. She is beautiful. She's talented. She's smart. She works out. And if anybody is a fan, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Garrie Harris. And guys, I'm sorry to say, I think I saw on your Facebook that you're no longer on the market.
I am no longer on the market. I am engaged to an amazing man, and I got engaged Super Bowl last year, and we are getting married next year. And I am happy. I am very, very happy. Yes.
That's great. Great. So is there any plans for expansion to your business?
There's always plans for expansion. And as I mentioned, my children, they have great plans. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they are going to do. And again, I don't have as many partners as I started with, but they have their plans as well. And my advice is, I want to say with partners, I just want to say, if you're planning on starting a business, one of the mistakes that I made is that, I love my partners, but you have to make sure partners are like a marriage, and you have to make sure you know who you are, um, you're going into partnership with, because it is like a marriage.
Okay. Listen, you have a chat. I have a girlfriend that's watching, and she says she aspired to be like you. Oh
Oh,
my goodness.
thank you.
You have more fans. You have more fans. So, mentorship. Has
Yes.
that ever been something that you do you do it? Do you mentor younger people?
I mentor every single day. I mentor,
Okay.
again, with my team. I mentor. Of course, I mentor with my own lineage, my children. And I am the oldest one in my exercise group. There is about 40 women in my particular class, which is the 530 class. I'm the oldest one. And they say to me all the time that I'm an inspiration to them, because I keep up with them.
Yes, I've seen you.
Yeah,
I'm so jealous.
and they say to me that I'm an inspiration, and I try to mentor them as well in terms of making sure that as you age gracefully, you keep up with your workout, you keep up with your diet, and you remain
You are
healthy.
doing all of that.
We don't want to do
all
things,
of
because it's not just mentoring in business, it's mentoring as
Right.
far as your health and your well-being.
Right.
Because you can have all the money in the world, and if you're not healthy, it's not doing you any good. So we have to make sure that we continue to do that. So yes, that's a part of mental.
You're not just teaching us about your business, you're teaching us about life, and I appreciate that, because more people need to hear this message. My girlfriends get upset when I keep saying, oh, I put on some weight, and they're looking at me like, what, really? Yes, I have. For me, this is
No, you don't look like you put on anything, and you keep the weight off. So I'm not friends, really. No,
I have no excuse. I get up at 4 o'clock every morning. I need to do what you're doing.
Yes, as well. Yes.
Yeah, I am going to hit that jump. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, I have truly enjoyed talking to this young lady. And I do say young lady because she is absolutely beautiful. I am a fan of hers. And before I go, I do want her to answer another question for me.
All right.
How do you measure your success? When did you know this was it? I've made it. I've arrived. I've started the right business.
I believe that realization came when I was able to, again, and I've mentioned this before, I was able to, my grown children who had their own careers, their own degrees, decided that they wanted to come out of corporate America and work for this company that I and my partners created. That was a level of success for me, to say that we want to come over here, Mom, and help you grow this business. And I said, okay, I've made something that they're proud enough to come and work toward building this and making it greater. So that's when I say I've made it.
I'm tearing up because I think that is the highest form of flattery. Your kids have said, my mom is it. She is who I aspire to be like. And I don't think that anything else matters.
Yeah.
Nothing else matters. When your kids say to you, your grown kids who have probably don't have degrees in the field that they're working in.
Right. Correct.
They have said to you, Mom, I'm coming over. Oh, that gives me chills. That gives me chills. Miss Harris, I am a fan. I am a fan of yours, and I just want to say thank you for coming on. And I appreciate everything that you have done in the community. Guys, I cannot tell you how much she does. She's an AKA, yes, she does it, but she's on the Miami Chamber of Commerce. She's on all these boards that she sits on. And I'm just reading her bio and I am getting chills myself. I have not done her justice in introducing her because she is truly a fabulous person. And I'm just happy to have spoken with her tonight.
Thank you so much. I appreciate being on, and this was a pleasure. I enjoyed it.
You have another fan out there, someone named Corey Kincaid said she is quite amazing. Oh, and I agree, Corey. I agree. Yeah, and I have a friend. She's been a true friend for about 20 years now, and she's chiming in, and she's just like, she wants your website. She thinks that this information is valuable, and she really is a great speaker. I like this. One, she speaks her mind. She kind of reminds me of you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she speaks her mind. She says what's on her mind. She doesn't. But what I like about her is she's very well spoken. So, Asia, I'm giving you a shout out right now, Ms. Rinaldi.
I was going to say that's Asia Elizabeth. I see her name on the screen. Yes, and yes. Corey, who says that she's awesome. That happens to be my son. So. He's a little biased.
Hi, son. Hey, well, you know what? But I agree with Corey, so I'm glad he said it. Well, everyone, I want to wrap it up tonight, but I cannot go without saying that this lady is amazing. I truly aspire to be like her. I think that everything that she has achieved is because she had a vision and she just kept going. She pushed through, and I think that even in a pandemic, she made it through. So she had to do something right. So is there any last advice you want to give before we go, Miss Harris?
Well, I think we've said enough. In the advice in the business world, I believe that if you are going to start your business, which is what I say to any potential business owner, it's a good idea. If you talked about mentorship, if you find yourself a mentor, and you really do your research and make sure that it's something that you really have a passion for, because again, this is something that is going to require your full dedicated attention, and you want to make sure that you absolutely love doing this, whatever you decide to do, that you love it. So that's my advice.
Awesome. Okay. Well, guess what? I'm going to sign off, but I hope you stick around for just a little bit so that I can ask you one more question that's off the record. Okay.
Okay. All right. Sure. All right. Stick around.
Okay. All right. First, I want to thank my amazing guest, the beautiful, talented BCU graduate and AKA Miss Garrie Harris. February has a lot of awarenesses in this month. However, it is Black History Month. I am always looking for ordinary people with extraordinary stories to tell. So do you know an African American with an interesting story to tell? Please email me at scurry.latasha@gmail.com. And if someone you know has an interesting story, please ask them to educate us. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Domesticated Diva, and watch Facebook on Sunday nights for upcoming shows. I'm Latasha Scurry. Thank you for watching Wednesday Night Whispers on LSTV. See you soon. I'll be right with you, okay? Don't go.